Another accidental switch out. I was off for 2 seconds. I just realized I was sitting next to a cord. It's not dead, but you take all measures. So now it's sitting on power. So it won't deplete. Ooh, except it's the cable and the weak charger. Recording may actually outpace depletion versus charge. I'm not sure. So as you can see again, I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to do and get my shit arranged to get out. But I gotta take a break from doing my work, and that was, if you couldn't tell from the call, I was talking to potential storage units, and I put a hold. I did not put a hold. I put a hold and had them cancel the old because I was going to switch to this unit right here. It's still pulled up a different hold. Reserved. Got it. Okay. For a window of time, I have a storage unit reserved that would, it's a potential for me to move into. I have no other party arrangement. I'm just assuming, okay, I know a dude I can ask about day labor to pay for physical help. I can rent U-Hauls. I got credit and credit cards, right? I assume I can do that. I make it happen. I'll figure out like the current plan will be to load a U-Haul and use the deck ramp thingy, shove my motorcycles up in there, and tie them onto something. Okay. There's construction going on. There's all this loud noise over there. I'm gonna make sure she don't have a violent tirade or something like that. They're trying to damage my bikes. By the way, she made it clear she's gonna dox me. So take a number. I've lost count. So I need save this because it's got the reservation number, although I seriously doubt they're gonna lose. They called me so quickly that I was on the phone talking to them, and I got interrupted their own phone call with their marketing call. You missed that part. That was a long conversation. And the bitch realizes I'm the one leaving. She's gonna be tracked, and they're gonna know where she goes. She's gonna move somewhere. I'm gonna be between two trees of my selection where I feel like, or where I run out of gas, where I'm in the biological sense, where I get tired. And she's stupid. I already checked. The 7-day thing is just a scare tactic. They have to go through the proper eviction procedures and stuff for her. It'll take months and months. But maybe I shouldn't tell her that and hope she goes and I'd leave me with some time to get my shit together. My credit took a big hit though. You know, the tow impound fee shit, I threw $1,000 on that. 1,000 flat. And that was a discount because they wanted $1,220. So now I got a credit card balance. And they already sent me a notice that my credit dropped because I'm utilizing 36% of my total credit. So remember I talked about buying vehicles and mortgaging a travel trailer and all this shit? Put a pin in that. However, owing and then paying boosts your credit. So a few months out after I pay this debt, I'll probably be sitting pretty good. And I also did the move with Ethereum. I pulled the trigger. So I moved, concentrated. I gave up on Cosmos and moved to Ethereum. The ETF is real. It happened. And I did some research yesterday. The time period before products are available to allow corporate money to flow into it is a few weeks, but we're not sure exactly. So my current goal is to not touch my savings for a few weeks, plus some, and see how things go. And if it happens, if it follows the same pattern Bitcoin did after its ETF approval, I'll have 70 grand. Money talks, bullshit walks. Oh, and the credit card thing will be taken care of. So, and there's a catch-22. The credit card that is on, the toe shit, is the bank one that I had an introductory low interest rate, 0%, for 18 months. I'm only 2 or 3 months into that. So I can carry the balance while it does impact my credit. It does not cost me cash money and interest. So I'm using the credit card for the first time to I don't want to sell my shit to pay it off, so I'm going to let it ride for a minute. I got 15 months-ish. Oh, and I'm going homeless. So everything, my gym membership and the storage unit and insurance and all that put together comes to like $300. Phone bill, there's a 150, 2 plus 180, 380, maybe 400. So I'm gonna have like $900 clear a month after I pay off the necessary bills. That's not zero. That will allow me to get ahead on my shit. I can pay $200, $300, $400 a month on the debt, and that will fairly expeditiously clear it. So put a pin in it. Roughly 4 months from now, my credit will be in tip-top shape, and I might be ready to make such a purchase. Assuming that nothing else happens to my credit in the meantime. Or more debts, or more... And I got people out there that owe me. And they said, it's one of the poor people thing. I'll get you some. So some people owe me. We'll see. Maybe. They raised the interest that you get if you punch out too. It was 5.1. It's now 5.55% on cash held in United States dollar coin. Another interesting thing, because if the Ethereum spikes and I take profit, it'll be moving over there to that, and I'll be earning 5%. I only have $112 staked, earning 3.08% average JPY. But it is daily compounded, which adds a little. Well, actually, I need to go through the motions on this. There's other storage units in that area, and I need to look and see what their prices are just for the base. I'm committing to a term. Although there was deals, there was like move-in special on the unit that I put a hold on a minute ago. A parking space, one legal actual car parking space, $212 a month. Not the one that I'm looking at price. That's not the one I got. The one I got is an outside drive up, $171 a month. And it's approximately the size I need to put my stuff. All of it. And it's outside, so I would have access to, it's 15 deep, 5 wide. So if I put the storage shelves at the end and I stack them to the ceiling and I carefully jigsaw and get everything shoved up in there, I might be able to get it in the 5x10 space and then have some space left over. I could put a fucking motorcycle at the head of it. So get one of my bikes off the street. I need to clean that too. Somehow it got muddy. I don't know, but sprinkler hit it or something, I think. I'm trying to sell it, and it's decrepit looking. I knocked the price to $3,000 flat on Craigslist too, but I need to do a whole new posting and a whole new press publish to apply edits. No, I didn't. Now I did. I changed the posting, and I hadn't finished. I got distracted, and I set up the change, and I didn't publish it. Now I did. So I'm going to take $3,000 for my baby. I was going to ask for $6, nigga. And it's worth it because I put money into it. Fresh tires, professionally inspected, the drive chain. It's a non-exposed chain bike. It's a drive shaft bike, and the fluids were just changed. And the fuel system was completely revamped. New pumps, new lines, everything. And that's important because, yeah, it's got some miles on it, and one of the few parts that degrade over time, the dry rotting of the rubber and stuff. Now, I'm debating right now, should I call the police and try to tell them she's trying to do the illegal eviction thing? She said, get my stuff and get out. You know, that counts as kidnapping, right? I'm sitting in my home that I'm under lease for, and I have not been properly evicted, and I got a woman telling me to leave. We all heard it. It's what she said. And she also said on camera, I'm going to dox you again. She said that 20 times. Repeat, doing it over and over again isn't really too effective since my stalkers, like, form hate groups and talk amongst themselves. So I'm playing with the house's money on that. Ooh, house's money, casino. I should do a casino hit. See if my luck holds. That's probably not a good idea. Nah, I'm short on cash. I don't have a lot of liquid cash. I can't be doing that. Pull up the crypto. I'll pull it up. I made $25 since we went talking. Come on, Ethereum. Everyone go get into the Ethereum right now because the ETF is published. And they're working on getting products to market right now as we speak. Actually, hold on. ETF timeline. Three days ago,
so, Ethereum ETFs have now been approved. But what comes next?
What's next?
What's next?
Designing and releasing financial
Will
products.
ETH see the same rocket fuel that we saw with Bitcoin? And most importantly, are we going to see other altcoin ETFs? Solana, Nia, ADA, perhaps? This is a vid you can't afford to miss. Oh, in case you're wondering, who the hell is this guy? I'm Nick, and if you're a regular viewer of our Clips channel, you will have seen me in countless videos. Now, I'm helping out here as well, so we can make sure that in this bull market, you guys won't go a day without your daily fix of Coin Bureau crypto content. So, hopefully, it's worth your while.
Well, let's see.
Firstly, where are we exactly with these Ethereum ETFs? Well, last week we got the news that the SEC was doing a complete 180-degree turn on these ETFs. After months of stonewalling and radio silence from the regulator, They reached out to the issuers and asked them to submit updated 19B4 forms. This caught the market completely off guard, from the Bloomberg ETF analysts to the issuers themselves, from the polymarket bettors to the ETH shorts. The ETH God candle was something to behold. Now, most of these issuers then quickly adjusted their applications, and by Thursday, the SEC was ready to approve a total of 5 of them. So, ETH ETFs are here? Well, not quite. You see, while the 19B4 forms are seen as the most pivotal step towards the approval, the SEC still needs to approve the individual S1s before they allow these to begin trading. These S1s are basically registration statements for a company that is usually filed in connection with an initial public offering or IPO. Oh, and fun fact, this 180-degree move by the SEC even caught many of those within the SEC off guard. And that's because the division that deals with the S1 applications wasn't ready to even look at them. Now, that is, of course, happening, but the process could take some time, and that's because there may be requests for amendments or other updates. According to the Bloomberg ETF analyst, this could take anywhere from a few weeks, even up to a few months, depending, of course, on the amount of work that is required to be done by the issuers. It's these S1 applications that could drag on for a while before we can really get these ETFs on the market fully trading. But this then begs another really important question. When the trading starts, is there likely to be a lot of demand? Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag. As was the case with the Bitcoin ETFs, what these ETFs will allow for is those investors who otherwise would not have been able to buy spot ETH to buy them in a regulated wrapper. Large institutions like hedge funds or mutual funds and pension funds would technically be able to gain ETH exposure. And then there are, of course, all the millions of retail investors who want to be able to hold ETH in their 401ks in a tax-efficient way. Eric Balkunis, the Bloomberg ETF analyst, has said that he expects to see at least 15 to 20% of the size of the inflows we saw go to Bitcoin come into an Ethereum product. His colleague, James Seifert, has said on a recent podcast that he expects at least 20 to 25%. So when you consider that ETH's market cap is only 33% the size of Bitcoin's, that's a hell of a lot of buying pressure for ETH. They weren't the only market analysts that were bullish. You had the likes of Joe Lubin, who said that he expects to see a floodgate of demand for Ether when these products are eventually launched. His sentiment was also echoed by analysts at Bernstein Research, who think that the rally that we saw post-Bitcoin ETF approval will play out here as well. However, there are a number of things that are different with these ETH products vis-a-vis Bitcoins. I mean, for one, there is the fact that nearly everyone was expecting them to get denied. And that, of course, means that they may not be ready to start allocating to these funds. Let's not forget that months ago, Matt Hogan from Bitwise Asset Management was saying that the market was not ready for these products yet, as they were still trying to digest the Bitcoin products. And he actually preferred a December timeline. Michael Anderson, the co-founder of Framework Ventures, said, quote, "A lot of people have been caught offside by the Ethereum ETF announcement. Even though the Bitcoin ETF created a crypto ETF roadmap for wirehouses and large registered investment advisors, I still expect that many institutional stakeholders are now scrambling to prime their sales teams on the state of Ethereum and put together a proper infrastructure." So it's going to be a scramble for sure. Then there is also the question of how the pitch should go for these products. I mean, the investment argument for Bitcoin is pretty clear. Digital gold, immutable money. However, how do you make the appeal for something like Ethereum to the normal retail crowd? What would you guys suggest? I would love to know down in those comments. Oh, and while you're down there, why don't you give me a like and hit the subscribe and bell as well to make sure that YouTube gives you a bell as well the next time a new video hits the tube.
Big money, in a matter of days or a few weeks at most, will be
Okay,
able to
welcome
flow
to the
into
Bro
Ethereum.
Crypto Podcast. I'm Chadimus Maximus, go by
Bitcoin
MaxChad100 on Twitter.
And
That's where
I
my
am
savings are.
Gigadick, the dude with the biggest PNL in
Robin Hood for the
all
win. Robin Hood
of
for the
crypto.
As long as they don't fuck
Bro,
us
say
over,
what?
they have a tendency
My
to do that,
P&L
but-
is 100% bigger than yours.
Bro, please. I was longing
look at my
Doge
Robin
and
Hood, but I'm
drinking
not
neat
talking about the business
Belvedere
today.
while you were still spot buying BTC on Mount Gox, bro.
Bro, you still driving a 2020
forgot about
Aventador.
that shit.
Where's your Bugatti at?
Bro, Bro, when bonk hits $1,
Oh, and I
I'm
was
gonna be
up in the
rocking
green
a
to profit
super yacht
today,
while you're
nigga.
still stuck in
I
traffic,
need to
bro.
fucking go
The
pay
Bro Crypto
attention to the
podcast
GameStop
is
shit
sponsored
now.
by the CoinBureau Deals page. If you're looking for trading fee discounts of up to 60%, exchange sign-up bonuses of up to $60,000, and amazing discounts on hardware wallets, then don't be a bro, be in the know, and check out the link in the description below. And now, back to the show.
Bro,
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 bro.
bro.
Oh, okay, they're still going. Right. Look, you can either listen to these idiots for the next 4 hours, or you can head to the CoinBureau Deals page and find something useful. Your call.
Anyways, can we get an idea of what demand will be like for these products using current market metrics? Well, yes we can. For one, we actually already have ETH ETFs out there, the futures kind, of course. And these launched in October of last year, and the reception was, shall we say, underwhelming. And since that time, they haven't really managed to pick up much in the way of AUM or assets under management. Comparing their AUM to Bitcoin futures ETFs, for example, they are a mere fraction. For example, the ProShares ETH futures ETF has about $95 million in AUM, whereas their Bitcoin futures ETF has over $2.2 billion. So, ETH futures instruments have seen about a 4% demand of that of Bitcoins. Okay, those are just the futures instruments, but we also do have spot products if you wanted a more direct comparison. And that's because Hong Kong just launched ETFs with both Bitcoin and Ethereum at the same time. The ETH
I didn't know
ETF
that.
inflows accounted
The
for
foreign
only about
exchange
15%
ETFs
of the
went up too. I
total
did not
we've
know
seen
that.
going into Bitcoins. Another institutional litmus test we could potentially use is the volumes of futures trading that we are seeing
Kong's a
taking
big one.
place on the CME. And that's because given that these are regulated futures, they are way more likely to have been traded by an institution. In the case of Bitcoin, the
fact they're
CME has seen the most volume
allows
of all
confidence
Bitcoin
for
futures
professional
exchanges.
corporate investors.
However, in the case of
It's not.
Ethereum futures markets, the CME ranked
Ethereum's a
fourth
bad
behind a
name.
number of
Ethereal,
offshore
it's
and
non-tangible,
unregulated
it's
exchanges.
whatever, it's-
Then there is also the question of the opportunity
It's more
cost of
tangible now.
holding the ETF shares as opposed to the underlying. Remember, the
Boy,
SEC
that
will not
improves
be
mine,
allowing
didn't it?
any Ethereum ETFs that are
Hong Kong did
offering
it too.
staking rewards.
Didn't know that.
Therefore, investors have to decide whether they are willing to forgo the extra 3.6% or so staking yield they would get. Of course, there are many tax benefits that come with these ETFs, so much so that they actually could trump the 3.6% yield. And there is, of course, also staking and custody risks that they may not want to subject themselves to. So it's not a free lunch. But that's, of course, holding everything else equal. And as is so often the case, that assumption, it doesn't always hold true. One of the major things that has changed this time around is the fact that the regulatory environment is completely different. As mentioned, that reversal on the ETH ETFs was a complete 180, and the only reason as to what appears to have happened can only be because of higher political pressure. Let's not forget that in the same week that the ETFs were approved, you had FIT 21 bill pass the US House, and of course the week before we had SAB 121. We covered both of these bills in our weekly news episode, so you can go back and view those if you want more information, by the way. Heck, Trump has even come out and said that he would make the US one of the most pro-crypto jurisdictions, and Biden has also stopped his veto threats. So it's pretty clear that the political climate is a lot more bullish now than it was when the Bitcoin ETFs launched a few months ago. Moreover, by the SEC allowing these ETH spot ETFs to launch, they are making their case for ETH being a security a lot harder to defend. This is part of the reason as to why so many of the broader projects in the Ethereum ecosystem rallied on the ETF news. Without this cloud hanging over the Ethereum ecosystem anymore, it could provide the right environment for that long-awaited rotation from Bitcoin to Ethereum to take place. The ETH BTC bleed can finally stop.
Vlogs I did
According to Mike
about that.
Novogratz,
I know the difference.
if the climate really has
work for
shifted
Ethereum
in
is
Washington,
wasted, like Bitcoin.
then,
Bitcoin
quote,
is wasted
prices
work.
are going to be
Ethereum
much
you
higher
do
than here.
productive work.
Perhaps this could
As
even
the
be the
security measure
spark
for
that was
them to
required to
So
ignite
it's
the
not
rocket
wasting
fuel we
energy.
need
It needed to
for
be done anyway.
altcoin season.
Piggyback,
It would be even more
getting
serendipitous
double
if this
purpose
came
out of
about the same
traditional
time that the
power.
Fed started to pivot later in the year.
Man.
Okay, so this all begs a very important question. If we are going to have an alt season sparked by these ETFs, Will we get any other altcoin ETFs anytime soon? Well, let's take a look. Most of the speculation about which altcoin could be next has, of course, centered around Solana. And this is the one that has seen the most institutional interest in the past few months. Let's not forget that Cathie Wood was out here shilling Sol on CNBC a few months ago. And even the OG of CNBC crypto fame, Mr. Brian Kelly, was on TV last week saying that he thinks the Sol ETF is the next one to break. But there are a few other factors which I covered in a bit more detail in a tweet thread, which I will leave linked to down below for you guys. For one, there is the fact that after Bitcoin and Ethereum, Sol structured investment products have seen the most inflows and AUM. And this is according to the data that has been compiled by the likes of CoinShares in their weekly coin reports. It's not just AUM, of course, but the premium that people are willing to pay over AUM for some of these products. For example, the price that the Grayscale G-Sol Trust shares are trading at is almost 6 times greater than the AUM in the fund. On top of that, there is also the numerous surveys that CoinShares has conducted with institutional investors over the past few months. Earlier this year, Sol showed the most growth in interest from these investor types. So, when Sol ETF? Well, not so fast. You see, while the question about ETH's security status was always up in the air, the SEC has made it quite clear that they view Sol, NIA, and ADA, etc. as securities. I mean, this is the entire premise of their lawsuit against Binance and Coinbase. Yes, they are changing their tune towards crypto, but expecting them to drop these cases just like that may be some wishful thinking. But beyond this, there is the one missing component that was present for both Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. And that is, of course, the presence of CME-regulated futures markets for Sol and other altcoins. These are needed in order for the SEC to conduct information gathering on the nature of these assets. In the case of Bitcoin, they had been collecting this data since 2017. In the case of Ethereum, it was since 2021. So, even if Sol CME futures contracts listed today, and we took the most optimistic of timelines, it wouldn't be for almost another 3 years until we saw Solana ETFs or any other altcoin for that matter. Of course, that all assumes that bills like FIT21 won't change the way these assets are regulated. If they are able to provide the right framework for listing futures of altcoins, or better classify that these altcoins are commodities, then it could speedrun these ETFs. And if we do eventually get a Sol ETF, there is nothing stopping other digital assets getting their own ETFs as well. If the SEC is able to change its tune on ETH and Sol, then there is no reason as to why it shouldn't do the same for, say, XRP or NIA. It opens the floodgates to so many more ETF instruments. Okay, so let's wrap this video up. There is no doubt that these ETH ETF approvals are an amazing harbinger for Ethereum. However, as mentioned, it's not so much the fact that institutions will be able to trade them in a regulated wrapper, but what the complete 180-degree turn signifies for not just ETH, but the entire crypto ecosystem. These products could be launching at a time when there is an increasing legitimacy being added to the crypto space. Legal questions no longer act as a disincentive for broader institutional and retail investors. I also do hope that we will see the Fed flip and remove his foot from the brake in Q3. This is the outstanding ingredient that is required in order to cook up that most awaited long altcoin season. Of course, there are still risks. For one, there is the risk that these ETFs launch as a damn squid and the inflows disappoint on day one. As elucidated earlier, some of the data could support this. We also have to appreciate the fact that institutional investors and retail mom-and-pop investors need to take their time to first get used to the Bitcoin products before they're going to feel comfortable moving into another crypto asset. Which is why it's incumbent on us in the crypto ecosystem to clearly illustrate the investment case for ETH. Why should it form part of a general portfolio? And more importantly, how does its investment case differ from the likes of Bitcoin, for example? So, while we are celebrating the win for the crypto industry right now, our work has only just begun, and the fight is still not won. And that's it for my video today, but I would love to get your feedback, of course. So, do you think that ETH ETF flows will surprise us to the upside, or do you think there's a risk it could disappoint us on the downside? And then again, after that, and if it is approved, what's the next altcoin that we could see an ETF for? Let me know down below. And of course, if you got
Coin Bureau, if you want the 2.48 million subscribers. He's big. Big. Mama's talking about she's going to sue me for what? She's going to sue me for putting the video of her out on Facebook. One, I didn't. Something's on Facebook. That's the stalkers. Two, you freedom of the press. First Amendment, freedom of the press. Don't like it? Go to a different country. China doesn't have those rights. Romana, seriously, you need to call a professional for this. It would take a lot for me to learn how to do it. I'm not sure I'm not capable of learning, but I do not know, and it's complicated. Yeah, but I'm a tenant, and you fucked up my resources. It's only slightly outside the realm of what I can do. Like, I could probably learn. I'm just busy. She loaded the fucking washer funny. Oh, specifically said I can't use the washer either. She told her boyfriend, wrong word, don't use that word, it's not accurate. Her male companion that was with her and for her until she asked him to lie in court, and he was like, I'm not doing that. And now he turned on her and all that. He gets it now. But she sent messages to him to relay to me. One, calling him my gay lover because he was being polite and respectful to me. I got pictures of that. Two, telling me that I cannot use the washer and dryer. So I got 2 loads for my $80 I'm in on that, plus all the work. And there was extra work because they brought the wrong one day. So I loaded, I helped unload a truck, brought it in the house, put it there. Then we realized it was a gas one and we have electric. And then I haul it back out. And the next day it comes back to a different one and I haul it back in. $80, 2 loads of laundry, and plus all my work. She's in 200. She's got a nice washer and dryer. She's fucking too stupid to understand how good of a deal she got, but she could have had me spend the $600 on the set she wanted, and it would have been no better, and they wouldn't physically be here either, because the $600 just got them. We would have had to buy a truck or rent a truck to get them here, and then buy the install kit, another $40-50. That's a lot of money. I'd be out another $450 plus the truck. Oh, and I don't know if those work, because those were used from someone else, and I never even saw them. These are functional. The clothes I'm wearing got washed in them. They're fine. It's fine. It works. It's a decent washer and dryer. It's got a fabric softener thingy dispenser. And again, I tried to do what she asked and contact her friends. They didn't respond. Unknown reasons. Don't know why. I sent a message. Still got them. I can't believe I'm not sweating bullets. I made a joke yesterday to her laborer, the guy dude, about putting a pack of frozen peas on my balls today to help mitigate. But I'm not dying. Maybe it's because I'm full of fluids, though. I drank a bunch of coffee. I don't want to cut this off, but I've got to get it uploaded, and I have to switch phones for that. I have other phones. So I guess there's a time for everything. I'm going to get this uploading and switch to a different phone.